Hey everyone, it's your average tech guy. I wanted to talk about what you can expect from the 3090 launch tomorrow. I'd already made a video a couple days ago talking about Nvidia's master plan with these card launches. I'll leave a link in the description down below, so definitely check that out for more details. But essentially what I had talked about was how this is a very critical season for Nvidia, with AMD launching their processors and cards in a couple months as well. So in order for Nvidia to maximize their profits, they had to prioritize one, getting ahead of AMD so that they can get people to buy the Nvidia cards. Because obviously if you're going to buy a $700, $1,500 card right now, you're not going to be looking to replace that with an AMD card in a couple months. And the second point that I made was, even within Nvidia's cards, they make the most profit by selling the 3090. Obviously, because the next card is 3080, so between $700 and $1,500, they're going to make more money selling you the $1,500 card. That being said, that is a very expensive card, and Nvidia knows that. So in order to get more and more people to buy this card, one of the things they did was, first, they rebranded it from a Titan to the 3000 series, grouping it with the rest of the gaming cards. And two, they wanted people to get super hyped up and start panicking. And the way they did that was by releasing the 3080 first in very limited quantities to get people to realize just how much demand there is for these cards. And because they released the card in such limited quantities, they got people all hyped up even more, start panicking, and realizing that there's just huge demand for these cards. And everyone's now getting hyped up and trying to see if they can get their hands on the 3090, even if they weren't originally planning on getting it. And now that the 3080 has been sold out, people have an opportunity to get the 3090. Nvidia is already letting people know that they have very limited quantities of the 3090, so they can get more and more people to rush in to the opening hour. So yeah, more on that master plan in the video I linked in the description down below. But let's talk about the announcements they made in terms of the changes they're making for the 3090 and 3070 launches. So the first question they addressed is what happened with the 3080 launch. And according to Nvidia, they saw way higher demand than they expected compared to their previous launches, which I assume they're talking about the 2000 series. Their website saw 4 times the unique visitors, 10 times the peak web requests per second, and more than 15 times the outclick to their partner websites. Now that's pretty crazy, but what did you expect, Nvidia? You launched a card for $700 that's twice as fast as your $1,200 card. Obviously there's going to be insane demand. They also say that they had 50 retailers with inventory on launch day, and they all sold out. What they don't address is how much inventory the retailers had. We've heard from people that stores had anywhere from 12 cards down to just 2 cards on launch day. 2 cards for a launch with a demand like this? Sure, Nvidia. So next they address what the overall stock situation is for 3080. So according to them, they have been in full production mode and started shipping to their partners in August. And they've been increasing their supply weekly. But we haven't really started to see that supply yet, have we? So the next question they address is, why does availability start with such low inventory? Why not just wait until more cards are produced? Or better yet, why not allow us to pre-order or even back order, Nvidia? So basically their response to that is, we have great supply. We have the greatest supply that anyone has ever seen, just not for the level of demand that we unexpectedly saw. So I hope you're starting to see a trend here. They want to keep reminding you of how crazy the demand is for their cards. And then finally, they go on to remind us not to buy from the resellers who are taking advantage of the situation, which I'm glad that they're addressing this, but obviously they don't make any profit from the resellers, so this doesn't really address the question of their inventory. So when asked what changes they're making to the Nvidia store, I'm glad that they actually admit that their store was overrun with bots and resellers. So the changes that they're making, according to them, are they moved to a dedicated environment with increased capacity and bot protection. They also updated the code to be more efficient on the server load. And they integrated CAPTCHA, yes, to the checkout workflow to help offset the use of bots. Wow, genius idea. Why didn't you think of this before? I have an idea why. Because they didn't want to. They wanted the RTX 3080 launch to seem like a complete mess and chaos just to keep building up the hype for all of their cards. And then the one question that everyone's been asking was, why did the notify me button go straight to out of stock? And basically their response to this is that their site was overload due to traffic, and that's why they had glitches. And the other question that a lot of people had been asking them was, what are they doing about the people that use bots and scripts to buy out the 3080s? And according to them, they have been manually canceling hundreds of orders. First of all, you are an AI company. Why is there no better solution than to manually cancel orders? And how are you identifying that someone used a bot or script? Like, there has to be a better solution. And then lastly, when asked why they didn't have bot protection like CAPTCHA already in place, they said that they've never needed it and that it's never been an issue for them. We are in 2020, Nvidia. CAPTCHA is the most basic of protection. Again, you're a leading AI company. Come on. So what I want to ask them is, why aren't you accepting pre-orders, or why aren't you letting people back order? This will help solve a lot of problems, and also it'll give you a better idea of how much demand there is so that you can ramp up production accordingly. So I'll tell you why not. It's exactly what I covered in the last video. They just want to build up hype for their cards. And not just any cards. They want people to be hyped up and feel trapped enough for them to start considering upping their budget to try and get their hands on the 3090, just so they don't miss out on the goodness this year. They finally put in the correct security measures and are now giving you the hope that you have a better chance to get the 3090 because of the updates they've made. See, this has always been part of their plan. First, they rebrand the Titan to a 3090 along with the rest of the 3000 series this year, so that more and more gamers would feel like that's the best they can get. Then they completely trashed out the 3080 launch, barely releasing any cards. And now they apologize and say they fixed their website, they fixed their servers, go try out their website tomorrow morning and get the 3090 instead, so they can make more money. So, in my opinion, tomorrow is going to be very similar to the 3080. There might not be as many bots buying out the cards, but there will be plenty of people lined up to buy out the cards, and they're going to run out pretty fast. But what Nvidia has done is that, given the limited amount of time to launch these cards before AMD releases their cards, they wanted to prioritize their production for the 3090s. So they barely made any 3080s, made a ton of 3090s, got people to potentially change their minds and buy out the way more expensive card. And ultimately, they just wanted to get in front of AMD. They could have easily just waited out a little bit. They knew their demand for these is going to be insane. They could have spent a couple more months, ramped up more production so that everyone can get the cards. But like I explained, that wouldn't have been the best business strategy for them. So here we are. So let me know in the comment section if you're going to be trying to buy out the 3090, or if you're one of the folks who was planning on getting the 3080, but because of this whole situation, you now will try to get the 3090. I have nothing against you. It's all part of Nvidia's business plan. So if you're switched over, that's good for you, and I hope you get the card and you get to enjoy that. If you're not able to get the card tomorrow, what I wanted to leave you off with is just relax. There's plenty of time to see what else is coming out this year. We have the PS5 and Xbox launches. Those are their own mess, but those are still out there as well. We have AMD cards coming out. There's a lot to see, so I wouldn't recommend rushing into getting anything or being upset that you didn't get the card. Just wait a little bit more and see how things pan out. Anyway, this has been your average tech guy. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more tech news. I will talk to you all next time.